just working a couple of pad drills just to integrate different pad feeds so we can use different tools, going from close quarters, extreme close quarters, back to close quarters. So it's a pad feeder that makes this what it is. So it's an integrated kind of relationship. So start to learn how to feed, professionally. Look at how people do it and become a pad technician if you can. Then you'll take your training to another level. So we're still playing with that. But basic idea of what we're doing. If I preempt him and he's down, it's done. Or if I preempt him and we separate and I continue, it's done. But if I preempt him, it's not enough, and he stifles my movement. He'll crash into me in some way. We're now being a vertical clinch, or South Night call it a fucked up tangle. Won't necessarily look like anything athletic. It'd just be two bodies clashing, stiff arming, hair pulling, death grip till you both go on the ground. So if you end up by hitting somebody, stifled in some way, the first thing you need is base. Get your foot back, nose over toes, so you've got dominance. From here, your extreme close quarters, you're stifled. You need to use inserts such as popping with your shoulders, popping with your bicep, biting to create distance. Anything that gets him here in range from my first shot. So in this case could be a headbutt, which will then open up other stuff. So we're looking at a couple of drills that we can employ this kind of idea. After the preempting, he shuts me down. So we're just going to look at a couple of ways in which to do that. So turn this one. So first one, I could hit here, he can shut me down, overhand. In this overhand position, I need base, nose over toes. This is here for 1 second before something else happens. Because he's taller than me, here, the closest weapon, the nearest target I have, is this bite into his neck, which will create him to pull back. So if he feeds that to me with a pad here, my start for 10 is going to be the bite, to create distance so I can headbutt. Now I've got an M3. Then again until he's down, just in the natural way. So I've used secondary tools to get to primary weapons. We're doing it in a pad feed that's changing the ranges. So this one again, we look at play. Same idea, this example. I hit this pad, he crashes me down, but we end up 1 over, 1 under. So just now we ended up, he was both over arm here. Here, 1 over, 1 under. So I have a hand free, but what I'm going to do is bump, which will give me this headbutt, and then I'm going to bang this elbow. Chances are that's going to end it. But just to keep the placement going, from here, I'll issue an attachment, feed me a low target, go knee, knee, then I put this by his head. Be careful, make sure it's by the head, attach from it from the back, hit it, next man down. So we still get the impact, but not against his head. So these are the 2 examples of what's that so far. What you need first and foremost is a good feeder. That's why these kind of drills are probably more for the more adept combatives trainee, not necessarily advanced, but certainly at an intermediate level. To become, a technician at anything takes understanding and skill. You've got to know the subject and know how to impart it to the person you're giving it to. So like I said, this is a learning process, but you've got that kind of cultivated mind that can engineer drills really well. Hence our incremental increase in terms of evolvement in UC. We're evolving it more just with simple pad drills, but it takes a skill on his part to do that. First thing, he has to be a good feeder, so he needs realistic target acquisition. So in relation to wherever my body is to him, if we preordain closest tool to closest weapon, he's going to know exactly where to put the target to feed it. So in the case of me biting to the soft tissue of his neck, he'll place it by his neck. He'll also know once he's done that there'll be a source of agitation he wants to remove himself from, because I'm going to push him as well. So he'll give me a natural transition, which then opens up the next strike, which is a headbutt. So that's impacted. So he knows he's got to tuck his chin, bite down, raise his shoulder, and feed the shot, because he doesn't want to get hit hard with the back of his hand. So he needs to understand how to feed that. Transition should be natural. It should be like he's been bit, then he moves. He's been hit higher, and he's been hit low. So pad transition from here to here needs to be quick and automated. You can't keep somebody waiting. So the feeder's got a job. If he feeds me a low groin target, but doesn't get the pads down in time, it's a good idea that he gets belly pad and a groin guard. So at least there's a target that I can hit if I don't get to the pads, or he doesn't get the pads to me in time. So it's a bit of a skill. So you've got to play with it. It's a two-way relationship. He's a feeder. But when you enter into it, immerse emotionally. So put yourself in this, that kind of situation where you would be justified legally and morally. It's the only thing you can do to employ violence. So you need to trigger your mindset. So in any of these drills, what we looked at is, first of all, what I want to do is end it with a preempt. So if I can end it with a preempt, down and I'm gone. But everything can fail and everything can work from time to time. You never say no, you never say always. If you've got good preemptive shot, good impactive tools, and you're calm enough to target, you can place it under pressure, then you'll knock most people out. If you train that's a succession, that's the first of a succession that will follow, then you've got a good game plan to back it up. But anything that can go wrong will go wrong. So we know that I could preempt and he could be down. I could preempt, he could separate, but he's still on his feet, in which case I continue. Or I could preempt and he immediately hits me back. Maybe he was going to hit me exactly the same time. Now we exchange. Or I preempt and then he grabs me to shut me down because he doesn't want to get hit no more. And he wants to control movement, control me, and clear his head. So that's why you see boxers when they spar and they clinch, particularly heavyweights. Then the referee will say, break. We ain't just breaking because they're tired. They are tired, they want to rest. They're also clinching because they don't want to get hit anymore. So if you get stifled or shut down by somebody and you don't know what to do, then your shoulders will go past your hips and you'll go into the ground and now he's dominant. And he'll kick the fuck out of you, just for trying. So you need to know how to dominate the clinch. Pad is a good way to train it because we can go impactive. Then we should just go partner, where we're just playing, pummeling and working out of that. And then we should go kick, where we actually can do it on a moving person that's trying to dominate me. So what we looked at in the two examples is giving me a head transition target. I've hit it. His reaction was to sway back, then run in. And as he's running, he's just stifled my movement here. Because he's stifled both arms, then primary striking is not available. I could slap here and grab the levandles, or I could bite into a soft tissue target. And as I bite, he should pull away from the source of agitation, but if he doesn't, I use this hand and this hand to, after I bite, to pull and push him into the range for my headbutt. Now I drop my chin and keep my neck solid and use a lateral drop step, putting the crown of my head into the side of his jaw. Now it frees my hand, big shots coming over the top. That's pretty much going to end it, but I want to continue, so I'm going to shoot for the clinch. From this elbow, again. So from this elbow, I can shoot for the clinch here, or I could just shoot for the clinch this side, dominating the structure, so I'm actually moving in firing. For the purpose of the drill, I'm just going to knee once or twice, let's say, and he's going to feed me a high target. I mean, I'm going to attach to it so I can pull it away from his head to a degree. I'm going to hammer and bury my elbow. But I don't want to plant the elbow, it's right next to the base of his skull. And I don't want to miss the target and hit him in the shoulder. That's a world of pain. So a drill like this, if you want to play with it, use the attribute equalizer. Mike Rand beats attribute equalizer. Turn down speed, turn down strength. Work the body mechanics high and keep the intent. So that would look something like, boom, place my shot, stifles my movement, bite, place my headbutt. Still loads of intent, there's my elbow clinch. We're coming from my knee, one more knee, boom, put this in, dominate, take the pan, hammer, elbow to finish it. So taking the power down, taking the speed down, but keeping the mechanical movement high and the intent high. And then as you get confident with that, start to bring up speed, bring up power, till you go full speed.
So when you're developing these type of pad drills, it's important, like Lee said, to start slow, okay? You work out what you're looking to achieve from the drill, looking at what he's going to do, okay? From there, I'm looking to place my pads in the position of where he's looking to strike. The reason we start slow is because, obviously, it's more about me learning how to hold the pads. I'm the feeder in the relationship in a sense, because I'm the one that's presenting the pads, okay? I can choose at any time to stop this by dropping to the floor. And it's obviously at that point that Lee would tactically disengage and he would stop, okay?
So in a sense, what he does dictates what I do next. So even though this simulation depiction on the pads, I preempt, he shuts me down in some way. That's the context of the drill. I want to hit him, continue, he doesn't want to let me. So I have to work from that, it's the context. So because he understands that, he knows he has to feed me a high target for my initial first shot, and then he shut me down. And then he knows he needs to place his next target to where the next skill will be, closest weapon nearest target, in this case the bite, let's say. And then he needs to transition from there as he would. So what my next movement is dependent on him. Hence the reason he needs to be fluid, so I don't have to wait, so there's no hiccups in it. That's why it's more of an advanced thing.
Yeah, and it needs layering up, okay? So the reason, like we said, we start slow is because he's not going to be the one that gets hurt. It's going to be me that gets hurt. And even developing these drills, you're going to get bashed about. That's how you learn how to hold the pads well. You learn what works, what doesn't. So in some cases, you actually do tuck your head and you have the pad touching your head. So in that case, good advice would be to not try and close your fist. Obviously have your hands open so that when he hits, it's not my knuckles that go into my head, so I keep my hand open. But sometimes putting my pad to my head isn't a good thing, and I get impact through my head. So it's learning, that's why we start slow and we go from sort of 25% to sort of 40% to 60% until I'm comfortable and he's comfortable, and then we'll go full out. But you will get bashed about a little bit. It's part of the process of learning how to hold pads correctly. Okay? Just some of the things from the drill that we did. When we're in this one and I'm over top, what I'm actually looking to do is put my hands around the back, okay? But by doing this, I don't give him a target. So I've got to learn to be able to still restrict his movement by offering him a target. So in this case, I keep this pinned in and I put it to my neck. So it simulates the area that he's biting, okay? And it also means that I don't have to change for the headbutt. Because if I'm here and he bites, one, I've got to feel him biting me, which isn't very nice. And then when I pull away, I've got to get this pad up, which is fine if you've got that skill set to be able to do that.
But in addition to that, because I'm holding him here and here, even if he forgets momentarily to give me the bite, so even if he forgets momentarily after the bite to give me a transition, so he doesn't do that, I can push with both hands as I cock my head to throw the headbutt. So use a mixture of both. The partner will pull the pad and I'll push him. So manifest with each other.
So yeah, going back to what I was saying about this, basically what I'm looking to do is I'm not looking just to put this pad up here and give him no resistance, because this isn't how it is. I'm actually squeezing him, looking to maybe take him down or just shut him down. So I still need to represent that when I'm doing it, so it's important that I learn to be able to pin with my elbows. So I'm pinning just a little bit with my elbows and creating, okay? It works the same if you've seen any of our other pummeling drills. When I'm holding him here and I'm presenting this pad, he's looking to free this arm, okay? To get back to his main artillery strike, which is the left, even though he can use both, okay? So he's going to do restrictive striking. So it's important that one, he creates the space by bumping me. And then it's here, this is the pad feed bit. I'm holding this ideally around the same similar height to my head, or as high as I can hold it. But what I'm not doing is taking my arm off to give him it, because I'm just giving it. So he's still got to work for it. So that's me pinning my elbow to his arm, and I'm holding that. And I'm going to hold it for fucking dear life. He's going to have to work to get it. Okay? So it's learning how to use your other bits of your body to pin, okay?
So realistically, if you're holding someone, you're holding them. Try and hold them and feed a pad. Try and multitask, figure it out. You've got to keep pressure. There's no point he's holding me and he releases my arm to give me a pad. There has to be something encumbering me. That's why this type of pad feed's unique, because it makes you find that kind of position that dictates that situation.